There we go. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. Wow, we're in September. We're getting into Q4. Welcome to September's DNN Awareness meeting. Thank you for joining us, and if you're watching this online, thank you for watching. So far in the meeting, we have myself, Addison, John, Lucas, Thompson, Tiho, and Francisco. Did I miss anybody? Let me look at the list real quick. John, Thompson, Tiho. Looks like I got everybody. So we got a small crowd this month for some reason, so far. All right, so our agenda. We generally review our primary goals. We chat about our progress since our previous meeting, and when possible, we set some goals for our next month and review the long-term goals, and then we have an open forum. And as always, like if there's a better format, if anybody ever has any suggestions, this is a group effort, so feel free to chime in. So our individual goals, everybody, all I ask is that everybody either champion something or co-champion something. So that just means that, whatever you can help with, you pick one or more areas that, like, okay, I'm gonna help focus on this particular area, and do at least 2 things a month. So, in the course of 31 days, 2 things, at least. So, that kind of impact will have a huge effect. And speaking of effects, generating a snowball effect. So one of the things that I continuously tell folks is that help other people know that they can contribute, right? Help other people do something. So that way we're not doing everything ourselves. So that way we can grow our group, we can grow our community, we can grow the ecosystem. And then keep in constant contact. And so I generally say, our Slack is our primary tool for that. I'm going to guess that everybody's been chatting a whole lot over email and something else because Slack's been kind of light this past month. So I'm guessing people have been on vacation or busy. Ooh, Jay just joined us. Let me put this in here. Jay. There we go. All right. So we're going to move into, well, actually, before I move on to our champion updates, is there anything that anybody needs to add to the agenda?
I don't know what header that should be, but I think the uptime of DNN software to come is a concern.
All right, I'll put that in open forum. And I do have an update for that. All right. Okay. Anything else? Nope. All right. So champions updates. So I'm just going to real quick for people that haven't seen this before. Well, actually, real quick, is there anybody who hasn't been in this meeting? I don't think so this time. Anybody that needs to introduce themselves? John, have you been in a meeting before?
Yes, I have been in a few meetings.
Okay. Okay, so I think everybody else has been in one. Well, Tiho, you were in the last meeting, but you didn't get a chance to properly introduce yourself. You want to go ahead and do that?
Sorry, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because my mic was shutting down last time. Yeah. Sure. My name's Tiho. I'm based in the Netherlands. And I have my own company. It's just me, myself, and I. But together with a lot of friends in the Netherlands, I get a lot of projects done. And I've been around in the ecosystem since years now. I used to be working for EAG, which is a size company, about 30 people, I think. And we're still in the DNN ecosystem. But, they use DNN, but more to step up and really be totally committed. So that's why I started my own company, and that's about 1.5 years ago. So a couple of people know me from the DNN Connect, the events, and I hope to do a lot more.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiho. We got a couple more people jumping in. All righty. Okay, so just to for people that haven't heard it or people watching this for the first time online, these are the different areas we've currently found to focus on to help have an impact on growing the community. So, the first one is the community dashboard. So, having an area on the website that allows us to see what the health of the community is, how we're growing, how we're not growing, how individuals are standing out. So this will help us make decisions in the future about which directions to go and with certain things. Another one is the speaker program. So having a way for speakers to put themselves out there for folks to find them and get them to present at their various events, and whether it's user groups or otherwise, and also to have some canned presentations, some open source presentations, if you will, for folks to be able to use in their own groups or for their own presentations. And then the user group program, bringing that back. So having a user group section on the website that allows user groups to be created and meetings to be generated and marketed, and attendees to get information about the various events. Increasing social activity. So that's kind of self-explanatory across the various media channels, whatever they happen to be, helping to increase the amount of tweets and posts and shares of different types of DNN content. Blogs should be self-explanatory as well. Same thing with YouTube videos and tutorials. Training course, creating at least one training course a quarter. I think that's the one area that we're really not having, we're not meeting a goal. Everywhere else, I think we're at least having forward progress. Same with curriculum. And let's see, new and updated extensions. So increasing the number of extensions that are created, whether they're brand new releases or upgrades. Homepage, so basically the DNN website, but the messaging that's throughout the website and the homepage and how it reflects community. And then theme creation, having more, especially contemporary, but having more open source themes out there. So these are areas that we, in the creation of this group, that we all agreed on as being areas to focus on. And Tiho has a link for us. DNN on social media. Oh, this is cool. All right, I'll be sure to bring this back up when we get to that section. All right. Any questions on the various areas? No? All right, so when it comes to these areas, if you're not already focused on an area, these are the ones that we have. And if you have a new area of focus that you think is important, you feel free to bring that up as well. You can, help with as many as one or all of them if you want to. It completely depends upon you. So we're going to move on to the first section. So this is a community dashboard, and you can see the champions here. So I think Jay did join. Jay, are you in audio?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. You have an update for us, sir?
I've got a beta version of the module working. I'm going to put it up. It's pretty slick. I think it does what we need to do. So I'll post it up on maybe a test. I'll stand up an Azure site or something and just put it up there. You guys can play around with it.
That is outstanding. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have something local that you can show us real quick?
I do. I'm actually at a client site today, so I don't have it on this particular development machine, but yeah, I can't show it right this second, but yeah, I could show it later.
That is outstanding. I did not expect that. All right, cool. Very cool. All right, so when this gets stood up, we'll obviously have a notice in Slack, so be sure to give some feedback and whatnot. So, all right, awesome. So I think that, is there anything else we need to say about the community dashboard? I mean, that was pretty epic. No? All right. Increasing social activity. So we don't technically have a champion. So one of the things about each of these areas is there needs to be a champion that kind of drives it, and then everybody else, the co-champions, assist in that, right? So we do need some sort of champion here. But the interesting thing, well, So when it comes to each of these, like the champion is basically saying, here's the strategy, here's what we're going to do, or here's the plan, right? So we do need a champion to kind of have a plan for social activity. So somebody with a marketing mind on their shoulders. But does anybody have anything specific about increasing social activity that they'd like to share with us?
Will, I don't know if can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if this would qualify. Well, it's definitely social, so I guess that it would qualify. But it has been 3 weeks that I have been pushing forward something that I'm calling DNN Open Friday, and tomorrow will be the 4th Friday that I'm doing this. I'm doing this together with a lot of quite a few volunteers as well. So engagement on that. Well, first of all, let me step back here. What is DNN Open Friday? DNN Open Friday is for a 4-hour window on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I open up a Slack workspace where people can come in to ask live questions about DNN, and other people would come in as well to answer questions, and people will be there to collaborate, to ask, to answer, to help each other live, real time. And there has been a lot of interesting interactions out of that. I can share a few numbers. I know, Will, that you like numbers, so I can share a few numbers that shows the engagement going up. So we have run this for 3 weeks now. The first week we had 5 people registered. The second one we had 18 people registered. The third one we had 30 people registered. On the first week we had 4 active people. Second, 11 active people. Third, 18 active people. On the first week we had 14 messages exchanged. On the second one we had 171 messages exchanged. And then the third week we had 249 messages exchanged there. And again, I'll be running this again tomorrow. If it keeps going with this kind of engagement, I'll keep pushing this forward because I like to do things where I see, engagement. And if I'm seeing engagement, I'll keep pushing this forward. So again, I wanted to share that with everybody.
That is outstanding. One of the things that might be interesting with that is I'm getting a big echo on myself. I'm not sure who that is, but encouraging the folks that do attend to tweet or Facebook share or whatever that they're part of it. That'd be really cool. Actually,
I'm what I'll be doing as well, and I've started to get a few. Is I'll be doing short 1 to 2 minute interviews with people that are going there. So I'll be sharing that as well over time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, it's 10 to 2 p.m., not 4 p.m.
Oh, 2. And this is
Eastern time.
Sure. Yeah. It's a little bit early for me.
I get it.
That's awesome. Does anybody else have anything social to share? Eastern, Tiho. East Coast of the United States. All right, cool. Excellent. Great stuff. And there's nothing else for social activity. All right. So anybody watching, if you want to help with this and you want to have a plan to help us increase overall social engagement online that's related to DNN, we're definitely looking for that help. All right. Let's see here. Blogs. Well, blogs continues to be an area that we have a lot of updates in. I don't think I've had one over the course of the last month, not since updating the blog for this particular meeting. Does anybody have any updates for this one? I don't have Mr. Clint today.
I did not produce a blog yet, ever. But I was thinking, and this is just a question if someone's waiting for that. Last week I've been doing a lot of about content security policy and security headers. Is that something, I mean, is that totally DNN, but it can be implemented in the web config, of course. Is that something that could be useful, or is it
Absolutely.
something? Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Security is something that traditionally not many people do blog about. You know, there's not a lot of people who actually actively work on security-related things. So, yeah, that kind of stuff is great. And if you need a place, or you know, if you already have a place, that's fine. You know, feel free to blog wherever you'd like. But if you'd like to cross-post that blog or just primarily blog on the DNN website, anybody can do that. You know, we just need to know, and we can get you started on it.
Okay. So what's the way? I mean, should it be a wiki or a blog, or doesn't matter?
I think a blog would get more like visibility, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't put it in the wiki. Maybe put it in the wiki and you talk about it that it's in the wiki and like the process you went to. Like you can do that any number of ways.
Yeah. Maybe I'll start in the wiki and have someone verifying what I have been finding out. So I'm sure a bit, then I'll blog about it.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and if you need access to the DNN website in terms of blogging, you know, Clint can get you started on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me update this over here. Alrighty. And I think David said something about something. Okay.
David.
Yeah. So David has a blog coming up, but he's going to be talking about it in another section. I do have an important blog coming up myself as well, besides this. All right. Now, one of the things we did discuss with blogs in the past, and just content in general, whether it's social or blogs, is like having a theme. 2 months ago, that theme was upgrades. Does anybody have an idea for theme this month?
An open source theme.
I think it's always an open source thing.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to do one, but you know, based on the fact that the past month I've been working for online applications in DNN, then Tracy migrated that task to Alessandra. So Alessandra is going to provide one for us. I don't know the specifics about it.
Oh, okay, David. All right, let's see here. Moving. Well, actually, so the theme. Nobody has an idea for a theme this month, other than maybe themes is maybe the theme. So it's the previous was upgrades. Like maybe everybody should blog about their favorite open source extension. Yeah. Like one of their go-tos. So if anybody has a better idea, feel free to chime in, but I'm going to move on to the next topics. All right, so the next one is YouTube videos and tutorials. So Addison usually has an update for us here.
Yeah. So I put together the past month 5 video tips on DNN, so 5 of them, and then there's the monthly DNN chats that you know, we do a 1-hour rambling around DNN, and yesterday we just recorded the TADUG user group meeting, which should be going live either today or tomorrow, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I've been doing some how-tos. I think I have 4 or 5 of them right now. let's see, 5-ish. I don't know. I don't remember how many. But basically, when I have inbound inquiries from folks, I'm starting to answer them in video. and so keeping it as simple as possible. So I got a growing YouTube channel, and some of it is just DNN, and some of it is hotcakes as well. So both of those. And the DNN Hangout, I'm going to be scheduling the first new episode of DNN Hangouts over this next week. So we're going to have that over this next month. All right. Anybody else have any YouTube or video in general? It doesn't necessarily need to be on YouTube. It could be on other places as well. Do you have any other video updates? Wish Don was here. He was going to be doing these like little 30-second commercials, and it'd be cool to get an update on that. All right. New and updated extensions. Let's see here. Hotcakes 3.2.1 is coming in the next week or so. Let's see here.
We've had some updates on NV Quick components. Andrew Heffling has joined the collaborators team for that and has contributed 2 new components. I think one is a tabs component and the other is an autocomplete component.
Nice. What you want to give people, just in case people don't know what you're talking about, what is NV Quick Components?
They are web components, so they're pure HTML, JavaScript, no dependencies on any outside frameworks, so you can use them with whatever framework or without, depending on what your use case is. So no more dependencies on DNN or React or Angular or any of those. So Vue, and you can use these anywhere you want to, inside or outside of DNN. But very lightweight components to be able to do cool features.
Would you mind posting a link in the chat so we can include it in the notes?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Does anybody else have any updates about new and updated extensions or want to be the champion for this? We don't have like an official champion for this one yet. No. All right, crickets. Love it. You know, when I used to be in the Marines, you know, they all the branches of the military would always make fun of each other, right? It's like this kind of friendly rivalry thing, like don't go there because they're bad because of blah blah blah, and you know they do it back. In these moments of silence, where I'm like, hey, does somebody want to lead this? It reminds me of those times where people get quiet in a room, and because the acronym for Navy was never again volunteer yourself. Alrighty. Alright, I got some links coming. So there's a link to NV Quick Components where the open source portion of it is, and the blog about them. Cool. Alright, so we'll include that. Thank you, David.
Well, I don't know if you wanted to mention this here or not, but maybe a quick teaser about the blog that's coming up, and I think you're going to use it as some content.
Sure.
Would you like to do the honors, or would you like for me to?
Maybe I'm forgetting what you're talking about.
Oh, it's just something else that's very quick. Yeah, so just a sneak preview to all you guys and gals that may be online. NV Quick Pulse has now officially launched, but have not really announced this. It's been a little bit on the lowdown just because we wanted to get the app finished. It's actually a mobile app that is on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store that allows you to easily navigate all things open source in the DNN community. So feel free to go and download that. It officially launched in the Apple Store today, and I think you actually, their search stuff has not indexed fully yet on that because we had to go through some hoops to get it launched there. But you can find it by just searching NV Quick Pulse on that. Google Play, you can pretty much get it with any keyword you can imagine for DNN.
Do you have a BlackBerry version of it too?
And a Windows Phone, and yeah, sure, they're out there. Good luck finding them. No, but we hope this is very helpful to the community because there's so many things you can't see on GitHub itself, as far as stats and things like that. So you may find this helpful to even look at quick stats on your own projects that happen to be on GitHub. Or others, or the DNN platform, or any of the related DNN community type stuff. If you do have an extension or some solution on GitHub that is not showing up in the app, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll give you some tips on how to make sure that it is showing up. And I'll be blogging in detail about this in the coming days to let everybody know how it all works. But enjoy.
Did I get that right in the note there?
It's a little more complicated than that, but so in order to get, I'll just tell real quickly, in order to get all of the stuff that is quite old in the community, we had to also key off of .NET Nuke, the old name there. So at minimum, if you want your stuff to be shown up, use GitHub Topics. It's right below your description on your repo, and make sure that DNN CMS, DNN, and .NET Nuke at minimum are in there. It does help if they're also in the description. Like if you reference DNN in your description of the repo, what I've been encouraging people to do is do something like DNN and then in parentheses formerly .NET Nuke, close parens. And it doesn't hurt to be in your README file as well. Not required to be showing up. Topics are sufficient for that, but anything we can do to provide some consistency across all old and new repos is great.
Yeah, that's excellent, dude. Very cool. Yeah, it's still early for me. Had a concert last night, so I completely forgot about that. But the first episode of DNN Hangout, we're going to be interviewing David, and we're going to be showing off the app. So, but David is not the co-host, so the co-host still to be announced. All right. Excellent. Good stuff.
It is not.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent. All right. Curriculum. We still need a champion for this as well. Lucas has been doing some work on this, though, in his own area. Lucas, do you have an update for us?
Yeah. So get ready to be surprised. The IT department of the university doesn't know anything about Windows servers. So basically, they are working only on PHP and Linux because it's free. Anyway, they are building their first Windows server right now under my guidance, and we are hoping to have it up and running in about a week or 10 days. Well, I hope so because I'm late to be paid also. So yeah, so that's nice. I mean, but it's very, very frustrating that you have like 25,000 students and you don't know how to build a Windows server. It's just like don't know.
And it's never been easier to build one than now.
Yeah. So they had to buy a license. So they had to make a whole ton of papers of finding the correct person to buy a license. I mean that's only $1,000 or something. Yeah. And then they have to build a virtual machine, install the Windows, but they basically refuse to install Windows because we don't know anything about Windows. So I had to go there, travel there, install the Windows to the virtual machine, get back, wait for them to open up their firewall and IP for my company, and then go ahead and set it up. So now it's been tested, and hopefully in a week it will go live. But it is a nice example of how university works in countries like Greece, because it's all about the money. They don't think about buying a license and get it over with. They just think build some PHP Linux machines, because are free, and then they teach the students to work on those, let's say, technologies, which is bad, very bad, because the technology doesn't make you good. The person in charge of the technology makes a good result or a bad result. I don't think that, a Microsoft programmer is better than a Linux programmer or vice versa. It's all about the programmer. So I think they're just misleading, new kids in the market. That's my 2 cents. Anyway. Oop, I talked too much. Sorry. I was coding all day. I didn't have a chance to talk.
No, you're not talking too much. Yeah. So for folks that aren't aware, Lucas has been working with the local university to do some curriculum there. So we might be able to, repurpose what he's been doing and roll that out to other universities maybe. But it's very awesome. One of the reasons this is a goal is, if you can get a person's hands on the DNN first, chances are they're going to continue to use DNN in the future.
Yeah,
right?
Because their IT department, the young ones in the IT department, I think, people are like 20, 25 years old, completely fell in love with DNN. Opposite to working with WordPress or Joomla. And we all know the reasons behind it. It has a pretty much more complete, or let's say straightforward philosophy on working on the backend. It has really good support for roles and users and granular permissions and everything, things that you don't find out of the box in a WordPress or a Joomla installation. So they were very happy with when I showed them how DNN works. They actually thought it was my technology. They haven't heard it. So they were like, oh, how many years did it get you to build that? And I was like, what? So, so yeah, I think it went well. I think how do you say that? The dean of the university is very happy with the result, and he's very happy with the technology, and he's open to let me go into some open seminars to the schools of IT of the university and talk about this technology and how we did that. So that's pretty awesome. I just need to find time to go there.
Nice. Yeah, that's always the challenge.
Time is our enemy. Yeah.
Very cool. That's outstanding, Lucas. Thank you. And the only other person I think that was working, well, actually, Lucas has kind of been heading this up. He's pretty much the champion on here by default.
Well, I'm really thinking of creating some videos and blogs, but in Greek, because I don't think we have a lot of international companies here that work with DNN. Like NN Insurances, which is a global network of companies, and they have DNN in all the countries as the heart of the systems. So they have DNN for their online security sales, and pension programs and stuff like that. And the bad thing is that people do not know DNN, do not trust DNN here. So instead of me doing videos in English, which is, a bit more difficult for me and more time-taking process, I was thinking, of just building awareness in my country first, getting, the hang of it, being more fluent, and then, maybe translate the blogs there.
Yeah, that's outstanding. We definitely need more content in other languages. So that's great. Love that.
Well, yeah, because we have like 2 of our major banks work with DNN, and I'm building, software online applications based on DNN, which are pretty awesome, and the client loves them. Full-blown applications like CRM and stuff like that. So I think it's just, a shame that no young developers are investing their time in it, because to tell you the truth, DNN was, the reason that my company stayed afloat during the Greek crisis for 10 years now. It has given us, the means to work outside and build bigger and better projects. And, it's just the same. I think people should be more aware of it and, build a better community and build more extensions and stuff like that. I actually hired a developer like 10 months ago. He didn't have an idea about DNN, but he was a really good, strong developer in C# with over 25 years of experience, and stuff like that. He was kind of not really amazed by the technology at the start because of the lack of documentations for specific areas of development, like module development and stuff. But now he's completely, in love with it. And he's doing all these custom modules, custom things, web services, plugins for login and log out with third-party services, global companies and stuff like that. And he's really completely fell in love with DNN. And it's just the same that people don't know about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Oops, talk too much.
No, you're fine. But we do need to move on to the next topic. Great stuff. Tracy's... Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick question, if I may. Because I can imagine that Microsoft could have a part in this as well. I mean, is there an interest too that people are moving forward, building applications on .NET Core, for instance? Is there any uplink to Microsoft where they could participate in knowledge or money or whatever? Windows Server running in Azure for Lucas to provide that?
Potentially. In outside of the U.S., there's a greater chance of that than in the U.S. In the U.S., the only way you get their support is if you pay for it all, right? Like they, they'll help push something, but you have to do it all yourself. They're not going to sponsor it or anything like that. And that includes .NET Core. I've been down that route a few times now. Yes, but outside the U.S., it's in various other countries, especially in Europe, Microsoft is they do a lot more. So yeah, it's possible.
Okay, so I should be contacting Microsoft Netherlands, for instance, to see whether they are up for that.
Yeah. When it aligns with their individual goals in the various countries, they jump on it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I know Tracy has been working on getting DNN Training Academy pushed to Kajabi. Lucas, do you know if you finished that?
Well, my job there is finished before, I think, 40 to 50 days with over 70, 80 videos. I know Alessandra is doing some videos for the social modules right now, or something like that. It's all about Tracy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll get him next month. All right. So moving on to themes, this is a Tracy area as well. NV, quick thing, did that have any new releases, David?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're almost constantly making updates. So if you don't have the latest, feel free to clone it and get the latest. A lot of people are using, so they're constantly pointing out things that could be improved. So it's really nice to see the community involved in that. T.O.
Yeah. He's not at his desk right now. All right. PowerPoint just went crazy on me. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. Excellent. Speaker program, Joe's not here this month, but he was working on a plan. So we'll have to get his update next month. And user group program still needs a champion, but David, I know you did something like, let's see here. Yeah, so I think the last one was to do a meeting.
Yeah, we're just waiting to schedule a meeting when everybody's available, and I don't know if that everybody is just me and you, or if there's going to be some other people involved, or what.
All right, we'll leave that update there then.
Any recommendations for kind of how to get that moving, or is it just not top priority now? Or
I really want to get it moving. I just don't have the time to build it. That's my only problem.
Yeah, maybe we can. I think there's some conversation we need to have. We don't need to dig into details now, but definitely some things have changed since you and I worked on that wireframing and stuff. So just some things to consider, I guess. And as soon as we get kind of a game plan of what it should be, then we can talk about divvying up some, development responsibilities and all that.
Okay, so let's get a meeting scheduled, and if anybody wants to join us in that meeting, join that Slack channel. So when you're looking at Slack, you just click on the word channels to join any channel that you're not currently part of. All right, cool. Thanks, David. DNN homepage messaging. I was really excited to get to this point because Jay, I think you've had some traction on this.
Yeah, I got some feedback from a couple different community members that added some comments to the original document, and so I'm working to consolidate all those into another document with another revision, pass that around. I didn't get a chance to get it published yet, but I'm hoping to get that probably this weekend, get it out next week, and if we can get adoption by everybody just to sign off on it and say, yeah, this is what we want to do, then we can maybe present it to Andy and hopefully get some progress on that front. Yeah,
so this is in the goals, DNN site messaging. So this is a channel. So if you want to continue to help, with the planning and execution of the updates to the DNN website, join that channel, and you can, chime in and give your 2 cents and maybe pitch in. All right, cool. Thanks, Jay. So like basically next week, so one of the things that we need to do sooner rather than later is place a request to DNN Corp for the people that will be actually getting their hands dirty, for them to have the appropriate amount of access. I don't know if that needs to be in your document, but it definitely needs to be something that we know, like, this person, they're going to need access, so that way we can place a request.
Yeah, do we know who has access now? Does Clint have access? Or who?
It's a request we're going to get a place to Ash.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Monthly goals, we always want at least 5 blog articles posted next month, or throughout the month, and we generally get that done. So we actually usually kind of kick that out of the park. I'm going to raise our YouTube videos to at least 5. No, actually, Addison does that on his own. We're going to do at least 8. So let's try to figure that out. Q3. I haven't been updating the number on that one. So we don't have our training course yet that I know of, but we should have it. And then updated open source extensions, that's been getting killed, especially because of Daniel. He's been creating extensions, or he's been updating extensions like crazy. Let's see here. So moving on to long-term goals. So by the end of the year, I think our original goal was 37 new blog articles. I think we've already nailed that. 48 new tutorial videos. We've definitely probably at least doubled that. Training courses, we're behind on that one. So I'm not sure we're going to meet our goal, our end of year goal. And 20 updated extensions, we actually have gone over that as well. So the only goal that we had that we didn't really achieve is the training courses. And if anybody is interested in creating training courses, you don't need permission. You can go on any particular platform that offers training and put a training course out there that in some way involves DNN. All right. So open forum. Before we lose time, I'm going to move on to that. So Tiho, you wanted to talk about DNN uptime, and just for the people that may not be aware of what the topic is really about, you want to give a little intro there?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think last month, about 2 days a week, DNNsoftware.com was having troubles. Either it wasn't working using your mobile phone from the Facebook, or it wasn't working using your desktop, or none of it. There were some speculations that it was the CDN that was faulting or something else, but bottom line, it's now working, and it's quite below par, at least according to me. If I would do that to one of my customers, I would get a lot of angry calls.
Yeah, so we talked about that a little bit in the last MVP meeting. Wait, was it MVP meeting? I think it was MVP meeting. No, it was a technology meeting. So we talked about that, and I think we have a consensus that the CDN is most likely the issue. And a handful of us, we talked to Ash about it and gave him a path to try to verify that it is the CDN. Because what it probably is that the cache is cached for too long, and so it's becoming corrupted, and then that's why you're seeing it only on certain devices at a particular time or in a specific region. So he's going. As far as we know, Ash is going to take that and go try that out. The other thing too is the DNN website is going to be moving from its current location to another. So both of those things should hopefully have a positive impact on that.
Okay, hope so.
All right. Issue.
And if my mic's still open, so I'm gonna take advantage of that one. And it's the open forum. I'm wondering, this month I have multiple requests for building apps, and it's my wish to use DNN as a headless CMS to take care of the content within those apps. So I was wondering, are there any people who already are experienced with that?
I know David has some experience with that, and that's actually a common thing. People have been doing that for years, having DNN host the content and the information, and having some sort of, whether the app is an actual phone app or whatnot, putting that out there. It's actually not too difficult as long as you know how to, use Web API or endpoints or whatnot. And David said yes, David has experience with that.
Does there exist some NV Quick app? Just putting it out there.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up, Tiho. Actually, I failed to mention this earlier, but along those lines, NV Quick Pulse is open source, and that is a mobile app. It's built on the Ionic framework, and there's also 2 repositories out there of older Ionic apps for the DNN Connect event app that we did.
Yeah. And
actually, the combination of those 2 would be great to look at, because you can see kind of how we do the APIs and so forth in the calls. The NV Quick Pulse is writing against the GitHub API, but it's really no different as far as what you would do on the app side of things.
Yeah, and if I would look further down the road, it would be great if you can add APIs as easy as we add modules to a website. So if you want to manage content with that comes from EasyDNN News or TooSexy or Action Grid, then you would only need to add APIs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, David just posted. I was thinking that as well. DNN Sharp has a DNN API endpoint module that you can use for that.
Yeah.
I will build my own.
With their module, literally creating an endpoint in less than a couple of minutes is really the benefit there. But of course, if you're doing something more complex, more structured, you'd probably want to roll your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for my part of the open forum, DNN Summit's next February. So I'm going to be resuming a role that I did before, which is a module development training. So feel free to come and join me there. Module development training. My course is going to be the getting started. So we're splitting module development into a beginners and advanced section, because there's always ever since we've been doing it, there's always been a mix of people that come there, they already know something, and other people that don't know anything, right? And so like getting both of them to feel like they get benefit out of the same class has always been difficult. So yeah, so I'm going to be resuming that. Anything else? Anything else that anybody wants to bring up? You know, no holds barred.
What about the forums and the question answers? I see many questions unanswered. I try to do as many as I can, but you know, still you go there and you see many questions unanswered, and you know, some of them are out of my comfort zone, so I'm not really comfortable answering them, all of them. But you know, it would be nice to somehow get more people involved in answering those kind of questions.
Yeah, that's a constant thing that we try to focus on as a group. We have a channel in Slack where it's called Community Help. And so if there's something that you see that you can't answer, but you want to get visibility on it, feel free to post in there. And then that gets us visibility as a group. So if somebody else knows the answer or knows somebody that can have the answer, we can get that routed, right? And I've been looking at that recently myself. You know, there are you know, more than a handful of questions out there that don't have answers. And so if people want to just like, you know, spend 10 minutes, like, and that's one of your 2 things every month, you know, spend 10 minutes answering one of these questions, one of these forum posts, you know, it not only helps that person, it helps yourself in terms of, you know, your profile is connected to that, so it helps your visibility and your personal brand, and it helps the community. So, you know, if you ever need any help with that, just post it in the community help, and you know, we'll chime in, and we'll you know, as they say, we'll help each other with the rising tide, right?
Okay, great.
Anything else? No? Okay. Well, with that, we're going to end exactly on time this month. And I do want to, well, with the, one of the things I forgot to mention real quick, back at, where is it, extensions? There it is. This does not still need a champion. Yay! So this actually has a champion now. Mr. John Slater, thank you for stepping up. John's going to be kind of stepping in to kind of generate a plan to, you know, make sure that we, you know, increase the numbers here. So thank you, John.
I will as soon as I figure out how Slack works.
I'm still trying.
We'll all help you with
Is that Slack Workspace or Slack Channel or Thread?
It's Slack on my phone, and I don't know how phones work, so I couldn't even get going on a web client. So it's once I get that figured out, I'll be able to move forward.
Get the desktop app.
Okay, I'll give that a shot.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and end the meeting. Thank you so much for attending. And if you're watching this online, thank you for watching. And if you want to join us, just leave a comment where you're watching the video. And we'll talk to everybody next month. Appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Will.
Bye.
Bye.